Good morning and welcome to the little apartment on the prairie. I've had several questions about my service dog Isaac, so I thought I'd do a video and talk about him and tell you all about him. And I'm going to include some clips of him doing some of his tasks. Tasks are things a service dog does that mitigates a person's disability. It's basically things they do for you that you can't do for yourself because of your disability, or things that you struggle to do yourself because of your disability. A couple definitions to start with. A service dog is a dog that is individually trained to do tasks for a specific person with a disability. To have a service dog, you have to be disabled, and the dog has to be trained to do things that mitigate your disability, or again, things that you can't do for yourself. In the United States, laws are different in different countries, but in all 50 states, there's a law called the Americans with Disabilities Act, or the ADA, which says that if you're disabled and you have a trained service dog, you can take that service dog into just about all places that anybody else is allowed to go. There are a few exceptions for health or safety reasons. Like, I can take my service dog to the hospital with me. He's allowed in the emergency room. He's allowed, if I'm the patient, he's allowed in my room with me. If I'm visiting a patient, he's allowed in the room with me to visit someone, provided they're okay with that. But there are a couple exceptions. He's not allowed in a burn unit or in an operating room, because those rooms have to be kept so sterile. Like, visitors to a burn unit or staff in a burn unit or in an operating room have to wear gowns and masks and hair covers and shoe covers, and we don't have those things for dogs. And the little bit of, dog hair or whatever could be really dangerous to the patient. So there are exceptions to places where he's allowed, but there aren't very many. And hospitals aren't the only places. Like, I can take him to a restaurant and he's allowed in the dining room, but if I worked in a restaurant, I wouldn't be allowed to take him in the kitchen, because he would create a health risk maybe to other people that would be eating the food prepared in that kitchen. You can train your own service dog in the United States if you know how to do that. A lot of people don't, so they get a dog that's professionally trained. And my dog came from a program that trains service dogs for people. Service dogs tend to be expensive. Insurance doesn't pay for them. It's difficult. A lot of people with disabilities have low income, so it's hard for them to pay for their own service dogs. And this is a problem, because part of why they're expensive is because they require so much training. It generally takes 1 to 2 years to train a service dog. There's not like a rule about that, but that's just how long it takes to do it right, because they have to have so much training. So they're expensive. I paid a little over $5,000 for my service dog, and this was 7 years ago. So, is it 7 years ago? So it was almost 8 years ago. It'll be 8 years in November. And so today, the typical price is between $10,000 and $14,000 for a service dog. And you can imagine how someone who's disabled and maybe on SSI or SSDI or whatever, would have trouble paying for that. Okay, so now that we got some background information on service dogs, I'll tell you about Isaac. When I first started learning about service dogs, I've never had a dog before. I've never been a dog person. I've always been a cat person. People ask me if I'm a dog person now, and I'm like, not really. I'm an Isaac person. I have learned that I like dogs, but I didn't really grow up having dogs that much. We had dogs a couple times when I was a kid, but I've always just been a cat person, and I wouldn't have gotten a dog as a pet. Dogs are more expensive than cats. There are a lot of work to take care of properly. I really like Isaac. I really enjoy him, but I wouldn't have gotten a dog as a pet. I got a dog because I came to believe that a dog could really help me with my disability. So I wanted Isaac mainly to help me with my post-traumatic stress disorder, but I also have degenerative disc disease in my back, and I used to have a lot more back pain than I do now, and I attribute that to Isaac. Because one of the things he's trained to do is he picks up things for me. And I'll show you a video in a minute of him getting laundry out of the clothes dryer. I don't use my clothes dryer that much anymore. I usually hang my laundry, but if I do put clothes in the clothes dryer, Isaac gets it out for me so I don't have to bend over again and again. And with the way my back is, there's like a slightly herniated disc and nerves have been pinched, and bending forward puts pressure on those nerves and causes pain. So Isaac makes it so I have to do less bending forward. I still bend forward for lots of things, like to put on my socks, to tie my shoes, to bathe myself. I bend forward for lots of things, but if I drop something on the floor, Isaac picks it up for me. If I want to vacuum the floor and so I need to pick up the dog toys and the cat toys, Isaac picks them all up for me. If I put clothes in the clothes dryer, Isaac gets them out of the dryer for me so I don't have to bend over. And this has significantly reduced my back pain. It's been amazing. Another thing he does for me is he can get medication for me when I start to have an anxiety attack. And I still have anxiety attacks sometimes, but I used to have them a lot, and I have medication that most of the time will work if I take it at the very beginning of an anxiety attack to calm me down and just prevent it from like spiraling out of control. The problem is when I get anxious, a lot of times I can't even think straight. Like I don't know what I need to do. I'm just in a panic. I'm overwhelmed. I can't think. Hi, Whiskers. And so Isaac is trained, if I tell him get the meds, he'll go and get them and bring them to me. But he's also trained that if I start showing signs that I'm starting to have an anxiety attack, he just goes and gets them and brings them to me and drops them in my lap. And it's like having someone here 24/7 to remind me if I ever start to have an anxiety attack, hey, Cal, you need to take your pills. And when he brings them to me, that reminds me to take them. I do it, stops a panic attack. There are also, the meds are in a little bag that he can pick up and carry easily. And he can't actually get to the pill. So, there's not a risk of him, getting a pill in his mouth and getting sick or something. There are also pain meds in there that there have been times that I've kind of gotten stuck. Like I've gone to get up off the couch or out of bed, and my back kind of locks up and I can't move. And it's really, really hard to get up and get pain medication. So Isaac can get the pills then on command. I say get the meds and he brings them to me. And I can take a muscle relaxer or a pain pill and wait a little bit for it to kick in enough that I can get up and move around. Once before I had Isaac, I got stuck in my car. Now I carry meds in my purse, but then I didn't, and I got stuck in my car. I got home from somewhere. I couldn't get out of the car. I had to call a friend who had to leave work and come home and go in the house and get me pain medicine, and then sit in the car and keep me company for half an hour while we waited for it to kick in so I could get out of the car. I mean, I just could not stand up out of the car. And there are times I had to call paramedics that, like, I got stuck once in the bathroom. I couldn't get up. I was stuck, couldn't move. Yes, hi, Whiskers. So Isaac can get me pain medication for that, but also my anxiety medication. Another thing he can do is turn on lights. If I have a nightmare and wake up in the middle of the night in a panic, Isaac can get up and turn on the lights. Or if I come home at night and it's dark, Isaac can go in the house ahead of me and turn on a light. He flips the light switch with his nose. He doesn't turn off lights. Service dogs can be trained to do that, but that's not something that I've ever needed him to do, so he just turns on the lights. He can get a juice box out of the refrigerator. Gesundheit. Come here. You need a treat? Isaac says he needs a treat. So since having Isaac, my back pain, I still have a lot of pain, but it's less, and I think that's because I have to bend forward less, and I'm just able to do things like I can, if I drop something on the floor, it used to be sometimes I just have to leave it there because I couldn't bend over to pick it up. And I have fewer panic attacks, and they don't get out of control when I have them nearly as often, because Isaac helps with that. And it really, I've had Isaac for almost 8 years now. It'll be 8 years in November, and it's really made my life significantly better. All right, so here you can see Isaac turning on the lights for me. Lights! Lights! Yay! Good boy! And here he is picking up the throw rugs on the bathroom floor, which he does before he takes a bath, which he hates taking baths, but he doesn't mind picking up the throw rugs for me. He's perfectly happy getting ready for a bath. It's just the actual getting into the tub part that he dislikes. But anyway, it shows how he picks up stuff off the floor. Isaac, get it. Get it. Not your toy. Okay, here. Get that. Get the rug. Get it. Oh, good boy. Here, get this one. Get it. Get it. Oh, you good boy. Yeah, here's your toy. And here's Isaac getting a juice box out of the fridge. Juice. Juice. Good boy. Okay, and here you can see him getting some clothes out of the clothes dryer. Get it. Okay, good boy. Get it. Good job. Get it. Good boy. Oh, what a good boy. One more. Get it. You don't like me to let go of the leash? Okay, get it. Good boy. So the last thing I want to show you is just a picture of Isaac playing with another dog. I want you to see that when he is playing, he is just, you know, he's just another dog, just a normal dog. So here he is playing with a friend.
October. Yeah, they must be coming from Iris, bring the ball.
You're telling the whole. You got it, Jamie. Get the ball. Get it.
So hopefully this has filled you in a lot about what Isaac does for me and just answered some general questions about service dogs. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions. I'll do my best to answer them. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And everybody take care. Be safe. Be well.